Time for the main event!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it looks like Dead or Alive 6 Last Round is getting an update, a new patch to fix a bunch of issues that you guys have been reporting in the comments down below. We'll go take a look at the patch notes that are coming. We also got some news on the sales for Dead or Alive 6 and Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. They're kind of lumping them together. And then the game is getting absolutely destroyed and review bombed over on Steam. So we're going to look at that too, because that's not good. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to the topics. Alright, first up here is the sales over on X on Koei Tecmo Europe. Obviously, they kind of all post the same thing. It says the Dead or Alive 6 series has surpassed 1 million units sold worldwide. Dead or Alive 6 Last Round is scheduled to receive regular updates, expansion features, and new content releasing moving forward. So expansion features, hopefully they add in tag teams, hopefully they add in rollback netcode, although I think you have to do that on the ground floor. I don't know if you can patch in rollback netcode. I don't think it's going to work. If we've learned anything from Ultra Pro Wrestling, you have to do it pretty much at the beginning. I don't think you can add it in later. It's too much of a hassle. But maybe they can figure it out. I don't know. It says, we look forward to your continued support for this series. And here's a nice little graphic they had. But if you notice something here, it's including the sales of the original version of the game, Dead or Alive 6 and Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. Last Round did not sell 1 million copies. It got them over the hump of the 1 million copies, if that makes sense. So that's not good news if you're asking me when it comes to the original game. The original game could even break the 1 million mark. No wonder they stopped supporting it, because that is absolutely abysmal for such a famed and old franchise that has such a huge cult following. They could even break 1 million sales. That sucks. However, I'm glad that they're trying to control the narrative here to where, yes, the game sold 1 million copies. We're happy with this, and we're going to continue to support it. So that is good news. This looks good to investors. It's like, hey, it's a 1 million seller. We're going to support the game going forward. So I'm all for them, pretty much boasting here the 1 million sales if it helps the game in the long run. That's huge. So shout outs to them. They got the game over 1 million. It just sucks that it took a re-release to get them to that point. So it's like, oh man, I didn't know it was that bad. All right, now on to the update. Here is the update coming. It says right here, thank you for playing Dead or Alive 6 Last Round. We are currently working on multiple bug fixes to be deployed in an upcoming update. See the attached image for more details. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your patience. So here are the patches that are coming. And it has a nice little thing here showing which platform is getting what. There's 8 things. Let's get started. Graphics. It says fixed a bug that caused display glitches at the top, bottom, left, or right edges of the screen in certain stages. This is on the PS5 and Xbox Series. Number 2, fixed a bug that caused the game display to become distorted in Lost Paradise or Boro across all platforms. Photo mode training, fixed a bug where restarting a multi-level stage at the moment the level was changed would cause the danger zone animation to stop playing correctly. That's on Steam. Number 4, Arcade Time Attack, fixed a bug that sometimes prevented the victory animation from playing incorrectly in Arcade Time Attack mode. Now, in survival mode on PlayStation 5, I was playing as Tina Armstrong, and I had gotten to like 8 or 9 on normal difficulty of people I've defeated, and every single time it would load a new fighter, it was Tina every single time, and the game crashed. So it kept loading different versions of Tina, and then the game finally crashed. So it's like, what happened? So yeah, I wonder if they'll address that too, but it looks like this is for Arcade Time Attack mode across all platforms. Data transfer, and I know some of you have been having issues with this. It says fixed a bug where Season Pass bonus costumes would not transfer correctly. And this is on the Xbox. It looks like the Xbox has been having issues with that. Onto the controllers, there's 3 things for the controllers. It says fixed a bug where PlayStation 4 compatible arcade stick controllers could not be used on PlayStation 5. And the same thing on Xbox, fixed a bug where arcade stick controllers could not be used on Xbox Series XS. And then the last thing for controllers is fixed a bug where controller settings would not save correctly. Note, after launching the game, do not skip the logos. The settings will then correctly applied even now across all platforms. So these are the patches they are working on right now. There's no release window for it, but I have a feeling it'll be in the next couple weeks. Some of these feel like they should have been caught before release, but at least they're working on it. At least they're not just releasing the game and just, there you go, we're only going to work on costumes. No, they're trying to work on the game. They're getting stuff done. It just sucks that it launched in this state. I doubt they'll be able to patch in rollback netcode like I stated earlier, but that's much needed. At least maybe fix the servers a bit, clean them up. There are some things they can do. It's just, if you're an online player, at least get crossplay enabled. I don't know if they can do that. If they can get crossplay enabled, that would really help with some of the consoles or some of the versions of the game not having enough players to play against, because there's a lot of online trophies and just stuff to do online that if you don't have the player base for it, that'll kill the game faster than anything else. So I think the PlayStation version will probably be fine because the PlayStation has a massive install base, and I think most people bought this on the PlayStation, which is kind of weird because most of the games are on Xbox. You would think Xbox would have the most sales because the franchise is kind of like part of Xbox's history. But yeah, PlayStation, everybody defaulted to PlayStation, I'm guessing, and that's where most of the players are probably at. And I heard Steam only had like 250 players last time I checked. I'm like, that's crazy, like at one given time. Now, with that being said, let's go over to Steam and let's look at the reviews that people have been posting, because holy crap, this game is getting review bombed. Alright, so over on Steam, the Steam page right here says mostly negative at 429 user reviews. 30% of those reviews are positive. That's really bad. So it's been getting review bombed out of existence here over on Steam. And if we come down here and we look at the reviews here, you see a lot of thumbs down. I'll read a couple of them. It says no rollback, no marketing, nothing new, and they delisted the original DOA 6. Nice try, Koei Tecmo, but please improve. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Uninstalls, great game, but unless you are a real diehard or just someone who has a lot of money, then don't buy this, or at least get the Core Fighters version. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Cash grab scam, reselling the same game full price without almost any differences and making you pay for it all. The 443 DLCs again. Well, I don't think you have to buy everything. So I feel like there's a lot of confusion with some of the stuff. Like either that or it's a glitch on their end because I haven't played it on Steam. But on PlayStation, all the stuff I purchased carried over to the new game, except of course for Mai and Kula Diamond, the third-party characters, the guest characters. We have to rebuy them, and they're way too expensive. Like, the only way I'll ever get Mai and Kula Diamond again, and I really liked Mai. Mai's moveset is awesome. I'm a huge fan of Mai. She's one of my favorite female characters of all time. The only way I'll pick her up is if it goes like half price or something with all the costumes. And you know they'll do sales. I'm hoping there's a good sale going probably by the end of the year where all that stuff will be on sale. Hopefully they migrate all of the costumes over to the new game so you don't have to go back to the old game to do that, because there's a couple costume packs I would like to get. But anyway, it's just I feel like there's a lot of confusion. Even though they had the website, they're telling you what transfers and how it transfers and all this kind of stuff, there's always going to be confusion of those people that don't go and do a little research first. And people shouldn't have to do research. It should literally be there right in front of your face when you play the new game. Like, hey, this is what's up, this is what's going on, disclaimer, blah, blah, blah. You kind of have to hold people's hands because there's a lot of people out there that don't go online and do a lot of stuff like some of us do, like some of us YouTubers do. Some people just buy the game, they want to play it, and if it doesn't work perfectly outright, well, they're going to complain. And rightfully so, because you got to hold people's hands. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of negatives. There's some good positives in here too. I mean, I'm having fun with the game. I just wish there was more that you could do in it, like tag teams, more single-player stuff. I wish they would add endings back to arcade, like the cool little animated endings they used to have for each character. I kind of miss those. It gives you incentive to want to beat the game with every single character. They did make unlocking costumes way easier. It was ridiculous when Dead or Alive 6 came out, and you had to play like every single mode with one character to unlock one costume. The way they did the chip system, and it was ridiculous. It's because they were setting up to where you would have to spend money or be incentivized to spend money to unlock in-game costumes. The whole way they monetized the game was pretty much what killed it and prevented it from getting over the 1 million sales mark, in my opinion. So, I'm glad that they went back and made it to where all the costumes mostly only need like 100 of those little chip points. And I unlocked like 6-7 costumes for one playthrough on normal or hard difficulty with the character that I was playing as. and I was shocked. I was like, holy crap, I just unlocked like 5 costumes. Now you still have to buy them with the in-game currency, but it's much quicker and it's much faster, and you can get through unlocking all the costumes way faster, and it's just much better. All right, so the last part of the news for today is that Dead or Alive 6 has been delisted from the PlayStation Store. Now, I foresaw this coming, and the last time I checked, it's still up on the Xbox Series stores. Unfortunately, for the PlayStation 4 version of the game, it has been delisted, and the only way to buy the game now is if you get the Last Round edition. So if you go down here, it's no longer here. It's also unavailable for me because I already own it. So, but if you go and try to buy the 6th game, you can still buy all the DLC and digital content. Those are still available. And if you didn't get the deluxe edition, you can buy it separately. So you can buy the deluxe edition costumes separately for Dead or Alive 6. At least it shows up here on my screen. I know some people in my comments were complaining like, well, how do I get the deluxe costumes now? Well, it's available. And I'm glad you can still buy the DLC because currently there's no other way to get it in Last Round. So they left the DLC up, but they delisted the original game. So because they really want to push you to the new game, because that's where all the updates and all the content and all the new costumes are going to be. So just a heads up, if you didn't buy it on PS6, unless you have a physical copy, you can no longer buy the game. You can still play it, you can still download it if you purchased it, you just can't buy a new version, like outright. So there you have it. There is the news for today for Dead or Alive franchise. Got some good, some bad. I'm glad it hit over 1 million sales, because when investors see that, they're like, oh, it's a 1 million seller. Yeah, go ahead and put more money into it and funding, all this kind of stuff. So that's great news. I'm glad they're not giving up on it. I'm glad it's over 1 million seller. I'm shocked that the original one wasn't a 1 million seller, because this is a very old franchise that has a huge cult following, and the media, Kotaku and all of them, and the way they did the monetization pretty much killed Dead or Alive 6 when it came out. And I'm very happy that they're trying again. And I'm very happy that no matter what, this game is going to get updates, funding, and I really hope it does well, so that Dead or Alive 7, we get all the bells and whistles, rollback netcode, maybe a character creator. If you've been on the channel, you know I love making my own characters. That would be freaking the most amazing thing ever, especially if they do something like Soul Calibur, where you can have multiple characters made, or like a wrestling game. That would be freaking awesome. They could use the character creator from the Neo, however you say it, franchise, where that's already built in. Literally just cut and paste, boom, and then add in all the cool Dead or Alive stuff in there. They could have you pick a fighting style like they do in Soul Calibur. It shouldn't be that difficult to add in a character creator, especially if you can just pick one of the main characters' fighting styles, like they did in Soul Calibur, or even Street Fighter. Street Fighter 6 was crazy. You can assign moves, and they really made it to where you can Frankenstein your character together. If they could go that route, the combo stuff would be amazing. It'd be cool. And it'd be funny if they had simple controls too. But anyway, good news and bad news. Sorry if you haven't bought the original game, or if you wanted to, it's no longer available on PlayStation. It's still up on Xbox. But yeah, long story short, good and bad news. Happy for the franchise, and I can't wait for those patches, because it needs a lot more. It needs some TLC. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay frosty.
What? Does it really hurt that much?